I went down last night and I caught some nice bass. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh my God, he eats bass. But in this area where I live, we have so many bass that I put them in the refrigerator last night so they'd be nice and stiff this morning. We're going to keep one out for a mounting a bass video. And then we're going to fillet these two. We're going to do one with an electric knife and one with a regular hand fillet knife. And what this will do is this will get people that are novices into cleaning fish right behind the gill right here. Just go ahead and take your knife, get her going. What we want to do, don't go straight like this. Look, you lose this big chunk of meat right here. What we want to do is we want to go up behind the gill plate, like so. See that? Just go just like that. Right down to behind that fin, right there. You see that cut there? Now, take your knife and just turn it. And let the knife do the work. Don't you do the work. Just go ahead and lay it against the backbone, and you'll feel it cutting through the rib bones. And just follow it down, just like so. Now we're going to move the fish down so you can see it. I want to keep the fish fairly close so you can see this. Okay, and you just keep going down until you get almost to the tail. See that? I'm almost to the tail. Now just leave a little bit on there. And what you do, just bring your knife back up, flip it over like so. Get right underneath here and just follow it right on up, just like so. Just take your knife right at the tail here, get her under there, lay her flat against the skin, and remember, let your knife do the work. Okay? Now you see that? Look at this fillet we have right here now. Isn't that beautiful? Looks like it just come out of the supermarket. Now what we can do is we lay this just like this here. And you can take your knife and go right down here. Right down above the ribs and just get that right on off of there. You can fillet those ribs right on out of there. And if you, now what happens here is there's a little bit of bone right here. What I do, instead of keeping the rib meat, I'll go ahead and I'll fillet this just like this on my first cut. Some people like to keep this meat here, but I don't think it's worth the bones. Now, what you have right now is a boneless fillet, just like that. If I would have left that in when I fried it up, I could have ate that meat. But you got a little line of bones right here, and it's not worth it. To me, anyway. So we'll set that aside, and we'll do the other side of this fish now. Oop. Anyway. Do the same thing. Go up to the back of the head right here. You don't want to go straight like this. I think you lose way too much meat. Go down behind this fin, right? These pectoral fins here. Okay. Put your knife right against the backbone. Just hold it even like so. And just let it do the work. Now you can cut all the way through if you want, but what I do is I leave that on there, and you'll see here, it'll just flip that right on over, just like so. And then just go just like this, get down along the skin, just take your time with that fillet knife. See that fillet? Beautiful. Okay, now come right up here, go right down along the backbone like so, and there's your fillet right there. Beautiful fillet. No bones, spread that up. You can cut it right here so it fits in the pan better. But off that bass, look at these 2 fillets we got. I mean, that's a meal. That's a meal right there for me. Just like that. But that's great. Anyway, that's doing it with the fillet knife. Now you can go back and replay that as much as you want. That's what we're going to do is we're going to use a conventional fillet knife. I like a Rapala. Rapala, whatever. But anyway, what you do is if you don't have access to an electric one, same thing with this knife here. You get in behind the gill plate. Just like so. Get down along the backbone. Now this is going to be a little bit tougher because these fish have tough bones. But you got to get a good grip. And you can feel those ribs popping loose. And if you have to, take a little bit at a time. Just like so. I still got the same motion here. I still have the fish. Went down to the tail. Take and flip that over just like so. Do the same thing. Cut right in here. You let your skin be the holder here. Just work it back and forth just like so. Now what I do on fish is I go ahead and get them all filleted. Like if you're doing bluegills, crappies, get them all filleted like this, and then I'll come back, and I'll take the bucket full of fillets, and then I'll take the rib bead out. And just go just like so. And that takes that rib meat right out of there. And there we got another beautiful fillet. I mean that's great. That's good eating. And no matter what anybody says, I've never eaten a bad bass yet. I've heard people say they have. I haven't. They've all been good. They taste like a big bluegill is what they taste like. In fact, bass is part of the bluegill family. So people that say they don't want to eat a bass because they don't taste good, they must not eat bluegills either. Anyway, here we go. We're going back up here on this one. Go at an angle behind the head there. See that? Got it right here. I'm going to go ahead and get this cut down right here. Now, I got this. Here. You can hear those bones popping loose, those rib bones. Once you get by the ribs, it's great, but bigger fish have bigger ribs, and you have to have a sharp knife to get through it. If you don't, you're not going to get through those ribs. But anyway, this is the method you use. Just turn her over, and your fillet will fall right off, just like that. Now we do the same thing. See right here? Get your knife underneath. Go right like so. A little bit of a sawing motion. Keep it flat. Now if you have a fillet board or anything, that's great. But most people don't, so what I'm doing is I'm just showing you on newspaper like I learned how. Now see how there's no meat left on this. Now, there's certain kinds of fish that when you fillet them out, they have like red meat here.